So on with tonight's honoree. If the truth be known, each of us, as you know, is only allocated a handful of very dear friends. Perhaps in a selfish way, I wish I could say I was the only really dear friend of this individual, but there in this room, but there are many of you who would count this guy as a dear friend. He made his mark on so many direct sales companies, the largest and the best, beginning his direct sales career at Avon Products, Inc. I've got to say, boy, he left a mark there as well, not to use the name Mark. Those of us who were in leadership roles at Avon in the early 90s know that when we launched that new compensation program, the real genesis of that was our honoree tonight in a program called Group Sales Leaders. We learned something from him, from that odyssey, that one key to success is to simply find a good parade and get in front of it. And that's what we learned from him. Then he went on to Shackley and was part of that senior management team that took Shackley through its first halcyon years, and we think they're going to be there again. Took it to a public company, over $300 million in sales. And then he took a tiny company in Utah, Nature's Sunshine, and grew it in just a few years to $250 million. And those of us at Tupperware were then honored to have him as our president at Tupperware. I always say, where could this guy have gone if he had stayed one place? Every assignment, every senior leadership role he took with good companies, and he made them great. But rather than hear more from me about that, let me share a video with you that'll tell you more about this very special.
1931. The place, Vineland, New Jersey. And so the life and legend of this year's Direct Selling Association Hall of Fame Award winner begins.
Alan Kennedy.
Educated at Mercersburg Academy in Pennsylvania and graduating with honors from Colgate University, Alan Kennedy served during the Korean War as a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army. His professional career began at Corning Glassworks, spending time in sales, marketing, and advertising. There were stops at Avon, Shackley, Nature's Sunshine, and Tupperware. He also chaired both the Direct Selling Association and the Direct Selling Education Foundation. Along the way, Alan managed to make a difference in so many lives.
I remember back in '94, when I was general manager for Nature's Sunshine products in Mexico, we had a great evaluation. And Alan found out that most of our employees were really worried about their debts because they just could not cover them. Interest rates had gone up dramatically. So he asked me to collect all their debts, pay for them, and then he made an agreement with every employee so they would pay back in a period of time or 1 or 2 years, of course at a very, very low interest rate. Nowadays, 10 years later, people still remember what Alan Kennedy did for them.
Now married to Maggie, Alan's life is filled with joy from his stepchildren, his 3 daughters, 4 grandkids, and Jack Russell babies, Cookie and Muffin. For Alan Kennedy, direct selling has never been just a job, but a passion, a lifetime commitment. He is someone who has added to the art of direct selling.
Being a success in life is based on having friends and colleagues and family and loved ones. And Alan has them all. And I think it's been a wonderful life for Alan. This induction into the Direct Selling Hall of Fame is a very, very apt recognition of a man who has meant so much to so many people.
Toss in his great wit, and you've got a winning combination.
I remember one time saying to Alan, how do you recruit these people so easily? And he said, you know, Gary, it's a real science. I get a mirror, and I hold the mirror up to their mouth, and if steam comes out, I recruit them. And that was his key to success in recruiting people.
Alan has a saying that dogs, small children, and direct sellers can spot a phony a mile away. Well, I can tell you that tonight, the dogs are barking, the children are shouting, and direct sellers around the globe are applauding the induction of Alan Kennedy into the Hall of Fame, because Alan is the real McCoy.
Some people feel Alan is like the Roger Clemens of the direct selling industry.
Just like Roger has gone from team to team and made each team better, Alan, you've had a wonderful career and having a wonderful career, and when you go to a company, you bring success to that company.
And when you're sought after the way he has been, it tells you something. It tells you that this is a man of talent, a man of integrity, who stood for the very best of what direct selling is all about. I think the industry has been fortunate to have Alan Kennedy represented.
He's a humble man with a strong work ethic, a man who knows how important it is that your word is your bond.
To paraphrase another famous Kennedy, Alan has never asked what the industry could do for him. He's always asked what he could do for the industry.
Alan Kennedy has been my friend, mentor, a bit of a big brother, and even at times a business partner for more than 30 years. I respect him, I adore him. But more important, there are so many in the direct selling industry who feel the same. And it's timely that he is recognized with induction into the Hall of Fame. I would be hard-pressed to think of anyone who has made a greater contribution to the transformation of direct selling than Alan Kennedy. And what's special, too, is the way he's done it, the energy, the passion. But you know, it shouldn't be of any surprise. Alan's father lived to over 100 years old and approached life right to the end the same way. There's an old saying in India that the son of a tiger also has stripes. Having said that, I've completely given up on the notion that maturity will ever be used to describe Alan Kennedy. Alan, congratulations. Alan, buddy.
I don't know what to say. My life in direct selling just keeps on and on. You know, I retired in the '97, and then I got a call from my tormentor and mentor, Rick Goings, and he said, "Why don't you consider to get some honest work?" And so he brought me down into one of the best positions I ever had, president of Tupperware. And then, Stan, I never told you this. I didn't even know you liked me. And he calls me down to be a member of Manitech's board. And incidentally, Sam, do you know now you preside over a board that now has 4 Hall of Famers? Can you believe that? We're really the top. But anyway, my career. And maybe there ought to be a little extra stipend. Anyway, it's been such a wonderful career, and you guys have been through all my personal life and so forth. You know, in '98, I talked the young woman into marrying me. You know, to tell you how my life is tied into this industry, You know who I asked about the dangers of marrying a younger woman? Neil Offen, Jim Preston, Rick, and Carmina Cisneros from Mexico, giving me approval to go okay. Yeah. It's really been something, but it's been so rewarding. And you hear it over and over from all the people that have been in this business, but there's one incident that stands out, and maybe I hope it tells about how I really am. But 1 August 1986, I was back with Avon, second round, and I was going across 57th Street in Madison, and it was just packed with people. And somebody called out Alan Kennedy, and I turned and I couldn't see him. This guy comes forward, he puts out his hand, and he says, you know, you don't know me. But he said, I heard you speak in San Francisco, and I'm a commercial artist, and I wasn't a very good one, and my wife and I I think it was Shackley, and he said, we heard you talk, and you really inspired us, and now we're key quarters. It meant that he was very comfortable financially and so forth. And he says, you know, we still got your tape, and I want to thank you. You still inspire us. And he was off in the crowd. Well, I went back to Avon. It was at lunchtime, and I went in to see Jim Preston, who's been a real pal for me, and I told him the story, and I said, you know, Jim, God, I've loved it here at Avon and what you do, but you know, nothing you can put in an envelope will ever equal what that guy just did to me over at Madison 57. And I want to thank you, too, for inspiring me. Anyway, this is my inspiration. She brought 3 kids with me. God, they torment me, and I love them. And my life is real good, and this is the peak. This is the ultimate. I lusted for this position, if you want the truth. Even more than you. Not true. I love my life. I love my family. I've just been blessed with just a great life because this industry has touched my life. Thank you very much.